KazoWAR here with an OU match against NKT. I met him on Smog and Wi-Fi Battlefinder. I see that he has a rain team, so I decided to lead with my Breloom because he was pretty obvious that he's going to lead with his Polytoad, and I decided to go for the Bullet Seed here. Try to go for the KO. It is scarfed, so I was hoping he would think that he would outspeed me if he was scarfed himself and try to kill me with an Ice Beam or something. Though I do know they have the same speed, so it could have been a speed tie if he was scarfed, but he does switch out into his Drapion, or into his Toxicroak that is named Drapion for some reason. And he takes the Bullet Seed really well. Here I decided to go into my Starmie because for some reason I thought the Starmie had Psychic on it, but the Starmie on my in-game Black and White 2 does. I was playing that a lot recently, so that's probably why I thought he had Psychic on it, but he doesn't have Psychic on it. So I just go for the Thunderbolt to see what he would do. He does go for the Bullet Punch for some reason. I do get a nice amount of damage on it with that Thunderbolt. So now I decided to go for the Ice Beam in case he decided to switch to something to resist that Thunderbolt. But this time he goes for a Sucker Punch here, and after the Sword Dance it is going to take out the Starmie. So now I go into Lucario here because it does have the extreme speed. I was thinking about trying to set up Swords Dance, but then I was thinking he might have probably had the fighting move, so I decided I better just go for the extreme speed and take him out. So now his Toxicroak's out, and Lucario is just waiting for the next guy to come out. It's a Volcarona, and I was thinking about trying to just go for the extreme speed to put some damage on that Volcarona, thinking he might try to want to set up Quiver Dance, but then I decided I probably should just switch out, and I go into Tyranitar, predicting like a fire attack, but then I realized he was in the rain though, and he does go for the Hurricane, but since the Sandstorm came out, it was like, wasn't going to hit anymore. So I go for the Stealth Rocks with him obviously going to switch out, fearing like a Stone Edge or maybe a Rock Slide or something like that. But so I go for the Crunch here, and he does get Defense Fall while he hits me with an Ice Beam for some reason. I guess he thought I was going to switch out there. So this turn I decided to go for the Pursuit because I was thinking he might want to switch out because of the Defense Fall, and he might have been choiced. So I do get a good amount of damage on that Polytoad when he switches out, and he brings in the Rotom Lawnmower thing. So I'd go and I bring in a Latios because pretty much anything that guy can do, Latios could just take it. And he does go for the Will-O-Wisp, which doesn't really bother Latios at all except for some residual damage over time. I do go for the Draco Meteor here, trying to get his massive amount of damage on whatever he decides to switch to, and he actually stays in. Goes for the Volt Switch, which does like very little damage. So he brings in Latios now, and I switch into Tyranitar because this Tyranitar has max special defense, and in Sam it's like his defense is through the roof, or his special defense is through the roof. She did go for the Thunder, and it missed because I think Thunder is produced in Sand as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyways, I go for the Crunch here, and Latios stayed in and used Surf, and I also got another Defense Fall here. I was thinking about probably switching out here because that Surf did do a nice amount of damage, but I decided I should probably just stay in and go for the Pursuit in case Latios switched or not. It would have been fainted by the end of that turn. So Latios is fainted now. And now he brings in the don't remember. Oh yeah, Volcarona. Brings in Volcarona, takes a huge amount of damage from the rocks. And he makes a good prediction here. I switch out and I go into Lucario predicting a Bug Buzz. And he predicts me going into Lucario and hits me with an overheat. That was good prediction on his part there. So now I go into, I think I go into Latios, because Scarf Latios. Yeah, I go into Latios here. It's Choice Scarfed, and I go for the Side Shock because I didn't want to go for another Draco Meteor because I didn't want to be forced to switch out next turn. So I just go for the Side Shock because it was good enough range. I was positive it was going to KO, which it did. And he switches into his Mower, which dies from Stealth Rocks. And now he switches into Zapdos. So I go for another Side Shock on the Zapdos. And he goes for the Roost. And at this point I'm like, okay, he's probably trying to stall me out until Latios dies from burn and sandstorm damage, which would have been like another turn or two, considering how much damage he lost, you know, by the end of that turn there. So I decided to go in Tyranitar because at this point in the game he only has 2 guys left, and I don't really need Tyranitar. I have a plan to take out both his guys. So I go in Tyranitar so I can get a safe switch in, which my plan needed. So I just have Tyranitar just die off here because I have no use for him anymore. So he does get KO'd here. And now I bring in my Breloom, which is Scarfed Breloom, and he does have Spore. So my plan was going to Spore the Zapdos. His other remaining guy was the Politoed, which is in like the red health. So I go for the Spore, trying to Spore the Zapdos, but he switches out into Politoed, which gets spored instead. But it didn't really ruin my plan at all because now that the rain's up, I decide instead of trying to put the Zapdos to sleep and whittle him away while he's sleeping, I decide to just go right into my Keldeo. And he does go back into his Zapdos. And with the rain up, Specs Keldeo is just going to destroy Zapdos with the Hydro Pump. Pretty sure even if I had full health it would have been a 1 KO because Specs Keldeo in the rain is just a monster. So his last guy is Politoed, which is KO'd by Stealth Rock. So that's the end of the match there. Hope you guys enjoyed that match. Please rate, comment, and if you like my videos, then subscribe. That would be nice. If not, oh well. So I'll see you guys next time.